According to, you guessed it, Mark the All Seeing Gurman, iPad mini is now considered to be constrained at Apple internally, meaning low stocks, meaning update soon, meaning September the 9th. Let's talk about it. And yes, of course, we'll recap everything coming up at the event too, but first, the best iPad mini. While this isn't expected to have a massive number of changes, even probably not changing the display panel, which has caused all of the jelly scroll controversy in the past, it may be a bigger deal than people expect. And on that jelly scroll thing, I've been to the Apple Store and I've tried really hard to find it, scrolling around as fast as I can in every possible direction and every orientation, but I couldn't see it. That said, I can't tell the difference between 60 and 120 Hz either, and even run my 4K desktop monitor at 30 Hz when it's connected to my MacBook Air, so maybe I shouldn't really have an opinion on that, or technology in general. But the headlines for this iPad mini update will be the chip first and foremost. While outlets like Mac Rumors have suggested at least an A17 chip to support Apple Intelligence, I'm almost certain it's going to be an A18 inside. That'll be the base chip for the iPhone at the September event, and the iPad mini typically gets the current chip model, plus the A17 Pros and the A17 generation of chips, including M3, has been an absolute nightmare for TSMC to make, which is why they moved on to M4 as quickly as they did. I don't see them making any more A17 anythings. Beyond that, we'll probably keep Touch ID in line with the iPad Air, which is basically the little brother to LCD display panel laminated to the touch digitizer, but probably move the camera to the landscape side in line with the rest of the iPad lineup now. Mini is currently the only iPad with the FaceTime camera still on the short edge, which I think is kind of understandable as it has been 1,078 days since its last release. 3 years. That's a long time. It came out with the iPhone 13, but moving that camera will break compatibility with the Apple Pencil 2 that the 6th gen uses, so it'll be Apple Pencil Pro compatible. And assuming that the iPad 10 gets a similar update in the 11th generation, that would mean the magnetic charging comes there too, and that would also mean that the original Lightning Apple Pencil and the Apple Pencil 2 will no longer be compatible with any currently available Apple sold devices. Now, while I doubt this means they'll disappear from the store right away, as there are masses of compatible iPads out there, they may find their way to just third-party retailers fairly quickly, but let's be honest, 4 Apple Pencils was at least 2 more than we needed, probably 3 more. What we don't have too many of, though, is subscribers. There's room for everyone, so smash that button like a Galaxy phone that someone gave you, and while you're at it, ring the notification bell. And if you do that, post #NotificationSquad down in the comments section, and you will get a shout out in the next show. Yeah, we're bringing it back. Could Apple look to add a keyboard option for the Mac Mini too? It's possible, but I'm not particularly hoping for one because in my mind the iPad isn't a thing to use as a computer replacement, certainly not the Mini, but for occasional typing, smashing out an email or two, it can be really handy. On the other hand, there are 1,000,001 Bluetooth options out there at pretty much every price point if that's what you need, including folding ones with trackpads, and that could be a perfect little companion to throw in your bag. There have also been rumours of an iPad Mini Pro potentially getting an M chip inside. Now, I'm not convinced that that's in Apple's roadmap, but the option to run things like Final Cut Pro on iPad or Logic on iPad with the iPad Mini would be ace, even if it kept the current display tech being more close to the iPad Air. If there's enough battery capacity and cooling in the Mini, the $499 price point for what is essentially a mini iPad Air with M2 would actually make a lot of sense, as the Air comes in at $599. Thinking about it now, it actually makes way more sense than it should. Maybe only the 11th gen will have an A chip. Then you've got your differentiation. This has all just come to me, this is not in the script. Of course, the September It's Glowtime event is all about the iPhones. iPhone 16 and 16 Plus will both get the action button and the capture button, new camera layout, and A18 chips to support Apple Intelligence. The 16 Pro and 16 Max get a size bump with 6.3 and 6.9 inches respectively, better ultra-wide cameras, A18 Pro, and likely some exclusive Apple Intelligence features for this year's phones. iOS 18 and iPadOS 18 will both launch publicly, with the new features announced at WWDC probably on the Friday after the event, with the new Siri animations on the compatible phones, Apple Intelligence on the compatible phones, but although probably a little bit later in the year, and some fresh customization options for your icons and home screens, along with all of the other stuff that they announced. We'll also be getting Apple Watch Series 10 and Ultra 3, potentially with bigger displays on the 10. It's not clear actually how big they're going to be now. We thought 49mm, could still be, but there are conflicting rumours now. Sleep apnea detection coming to the watch, possibly blood pressure, hypertension monitoring, and a brand new chip which may, just may, support some level of Apple Intelligence, or at least improved Siri, which would be great as the watch is really where voice interaction is super useful. That and HomePods. And of course, the AirPods 4th generation are also set to come out in 2 versions, a low-cost version to replace the cheapest AirPods 2, which I'm guessing will be basically what the 3rd gen are right now, and a mid-range version gaining active noise cancellation and maybe the nod and shaky head gestures that can be used to accept or reject calls that were announced for the Pros at WWDC. That, and they'll probably say that they sound better as well. And you know, they probably will. So let me know down in the comments what you're most excited to pick up from the new event. Thank you to the Patreons, and to find out about the biggest update to the Mac since M1, click up here. See you in the next one. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell.